Imagine this. You're in a heated Wild Rift match. Dragon's up, your team's pushing mid, and suddenly, boom, one tiny decision snowballs into a total wipeout. Or flips the game in your favor. Sound familiar? Every single choice you make in Wild Rift isn't just a move. It's a step toward victory or defeat. Hey everyone, and welcome back to RGD Gaming, the least toxic, most fun community in all of gaming. I'm Bill, Wild Rift's most tilt-proof ADC. Today, we're diving deep into the art of decision making in Wild Rift because let's face it, mechanics are great, but it's those split second calls that separate the challengers from the feeders. In this video, I'll break down how every decision you make pushes you closer to that sweet, sweet LP gain or farther into the depths of tilt. We'll cover some massive real game examples that could change how you play forever. And then I'll walk you through a full gameplay breakdown where I'm dominating as Corki in the Dragon Lane. Stick around because by the end, you'll be making pro level choices that win games. Alright, let's jump into it. We're going to be talking about big picture decisions that hit every single role, things like when to rotate for objectives and when to engage in that sketchy team fight. And then I'll list out a few game changers with quick tips. And then we'll apply them live with my Corki game. This game came at us quite quickly, so I hope you were paying attention to some of the decisions that I already had to make, but I want to take one step back and go into before the game even starts. Picking your champion makes a difference. Obviously, you know this conceptually, right? If I pick Corki, I have a better chance of winning than if I pick Callista, who I never really played and who isn't very strong and not in the meta right now. So you have to start thinking about what decisions are important even before the game starts. Then, as the game starts, I need to decide, is Corgi and Leona stronger than the enemy duo lane in this case, Samira and Yumi, or are they weaker? And in this case, I'm confident, and I was confident, that at level 1 we would be able to fight them. Yumi doesn't have a great heal at that point. Corki is very strong and in the meta right now. Leona has a great engage, and we're going to be able to get onto them and wipe them out. And that's exactly what happened. So Samira needs to make a better decision as she's starting this game and realize that she needs to wait until Yumi has a few more levels and can heal her a little bit more, and also same thing for her. Here's another good example where I have to make a decision. I can either go right to Dragon or I can shove that wave. I know that Veigar and Aurelia are not on that side of the map and that I have time so I can shove the wave and get that shoved in, make them lose farm, and that we're still going to get Dragon. I could also see Samira and Yumi on the top side of the map. So our worst case scenario was a 2v1 for Dragon, and that was assuming that the Olaf was not on the Dragon himself. Now, every time I reset, that's the decision that I can make, and then as I'm coming back, I can decide, do I want to go top, bottom, mid? Do I want to run through a jungle? In this case here, I saw that the Samira was resetting, and I was able to just make a tiny adjustment. Rather than go grab the wave, I was able to get the kill on Samira, and then I'm going to shove the wave, and then I get to make another decision here. Do I want to go through the jungle? Do I want to go to mid and help them push down that tower, or do I want to reset again? In this case, we really want to be clearing out that mid tower. It opens up the map. And then every time there's a fight, I'm deciding how close do I want to be? Do I even want this fight? You can see that the Olaf is posturing towards me. Aurelia wants to jump on top of me. And so in this case here, every single fight, I need to be aware that they want to get on top of me. I'm already the carry at this point, so I need to play a little bit safer than I might otherwise. I don't want to give them the shutdown. And here, I was pretty confident I was playing safe enough that if Aurelia was going to come fight me, they'd have to dive into our jungle and probably die for it. And fortunately, that was the case. And so now we're going to reset again. So you can do this with your own videos, or you can do this with my video like this one right here. As I reset, pause, glance at the map real quick, and think about what you might do. Would you make the decision to farm the enemy's jungle there, or would you rotate to a different part of the map? Would you be in mid right now, or would you be rotating towards the fight with Aurelia? I don't exactly think I need to fight as much as my team wants to fight in this particular game. So it really puts me in a weird spot because they're fights that I wouldn't otherwise take. And now, same thing. The enemy is going to be coming through their own jungle, so I don't want to just jump in and get right onto their front line. And so what do? I wait towards the back. I wait for Veigar to get in a weird spot, And then I can decide when I want to engage here. And same thing, they're just letting me use my abilities. They're eventually trying to jump on me. And this was a little bit of a sketchy fight here, right? We're not always going to come out of this winning this, but we were fortunate that we were able to. And again, my team is making decisions that I don't love. Like, I didn't feel like we needed to fight that. There was no reason to be over all of us on that side of the map. But my team is loving the fights this game. And so what I'm trying to do is continue to farm. As you see, I'm taking the enemy camps. I'm taking my own team's camps for jungle camps. I'm pushing waves. And then I'm trying to be around the fights that my team is choosing to get into. And so same thing here. You always see me, you don't see me starting the fights, but you see me coming sort of on the back end as I see them breaking out. And so now we've won a fight, and now we're pinging to Baron. So that's another decision. Do we continue to fight there, or do we shove waves, or do we go to Baron? Baron was the obvious choice there, and you should be making that decision. And so now I'm going through the enemy camp. I could be on any side of the map right here with Baron, right? But I really want to be pretty close to my team, making sure that we're shoving in the waves, playing a little bit safe, and then same thing here, just slowing the Olaf's recall, and then really staying by. Leona is actually one of the most important people for me to be by, but they love engaging, and I understand that from the concept of playing a Leona. But same thing here, I'm trying to stay a little bit further back. I see the Aurelia is pretty close. I see the Olaf gets a double kill, and now I just get out of there. Now, I could run, but I see the Olaf going back to base, and so I decide that I'm going to take the red buff. I probably have enough time to shove this other wave, and then I'm going to also take this camp. So 2 more camps, shove a wave, then recall. And those are little decisions that I don't think a lot of people think about. But when you're taking 200, 250, 300 gold from the enemy jungle camps, you're getting that gold and the enemy does not. That is a big swing in your favor and your team's favor. I mean, think about that. If you take 250 gold from the enemy's jungle that they don't get, that's a 500 gold swing. That's better than getting a kill on the enemy, assuming they don't have a bounty. Denying the enemy gold is one of the most underrated forms of changing the game that you can use. And you need to be doing it every single game where you steal the enemy's jungle camp and also you shove waves under the enemy's tower so their tower kills the minions and they don't get that gold. All right, so where should we be right now? Baron is up, so we need to shove that mid wave in. That's a big macro decision, so we want to have mid wave shoved in. We see that the top side of our map is, looks like they're maybe going for the inhibitor tower. Now we got this weird fight that we really don't want to be taking right now because the Olaf's going to be able to kill us. And so we have to back out of that. We don't want to die. We have a gold bounty on us, and the enemy is pretty strong. So we're going to back off. We get the inhibitor tower. Our top, it's weird. Like, I don't know why you would walk right through their jungle where the Olaf is pathing to. Even if you waited for the recall, it wouldn't have been the worst decision ever. So big macro choice there. Walk left, walk right. And now the enemy gets the Baron buff, and we need to be shoving out our waves. So you see right there, little decision, slow the Olaf's recall. Wait till you see what ends up happening long term with that decision, just to shoot that rocket off. It's interesting, like you make these little choices that could just be nothing burger, right? Slowing a recall. Now I've done it twice, so now he's delayed like what, 10 seconds, which isn't that big of a deal. But sometimes in Wild Rift, the game is a matter of a fraction of a second matters, and so we'll see if that ends up being any type of impact on the game later on, or in 15 seconds. Okay, so we're shoving in the wave, looking to maybe take this inhibitor tower. Now Olaf finally comes out. Are we going to be able to get a kill on him? This is a little aggressive. Our Leona was aggressive, as you saw this entire game. And so I think, all right, time to back off. Maybe if we have them shoved far enough in, we can get some vision on the dragon. And then we also have Aurelia looking to take that inhibitor tower and potentially end the game, right? Like if we just totally ignore. But fortunately, we came back in time and we exhaust her, and the Aurelia eventually just gives up and accepts defeat. So that was a mistake. She should have just shoved it in, saw that we were recalling because we were by her team, and then obviously reset. And now we have a fight for Eldar, so we got to get over there. Look at this Olaf just going for it. Enemy gets it. We're able to get 1 kill. And now I have to decide, do I want to fight that? And honestly, I really don't. but I think if I don't go here now, I'm not sure that we end up getting this kill on Olaf and the Yumi, and that would be a miserable position to be in with the enemy having both Elder and Baron. But fortunately, we were able to. There's no reason to do this. I shouldn't even be here right now. For a second, I thought maybe end, but now we're just gonna get out of here. We're just giving kills over to them. And as I'm going, I am taking the red buff. Do I take? Yeah, I take that too. Just denying the enemy team gold, and then take the blue buff, clear some jungle camps, try not to die. Because the enemy still has, I don't know, some of them might have Elder, I'm not sure. But they definitely have they had the Baron buff here. So I don't really love fighting when the enemy has Baron. And right here you see me make just a catastrophic blunder, right? There's no reason to go over that wall. I have 1 HP, Veigar is full, he's got the Yumi on him, and I give 1,000 gold to their carry. Just devastating. But also a lesson in that if somebody on your team does something like that, like I don't know what happened, just an aneurysm, what or what, right? But if somebody on your team makes a big blundering mistake, you can't give up on them, and you got to just get back at it, and especially keep playing the game. Like this is a close game, and one stupid mistake like that can, in fact, cost us the game. Right here, the Olaf, the Yumi jumps out and just decides to die. Probably trying to die so that way the Olaf doesn't, right? You got to love that about your team doing that, but we need to back off. We really don't want the enemy to catch us. Samira just decides to enter right into us. And now I want to shove the wave and then rotate to Baron, right? Looks like that's what they want to do. We have 3 of the enemy dead. We can see the other 2 enemies. So I like the Baron call right here, but it's hard to say whether your team is going to follow a Baron call. And it's also tough with this Olaf that can just run in there. But team goes on there. Elder Dragon spawns. And so now the enemy should be trading Elder for Baron right here, right? And so as a team, we should be going over there. It's a tight window because if they get Elder, and then they start a fight, it's a bad situation for us. But let's see if we can get over there. The enemy team actually does get Elder. But fortunately, we're able to get enough damage on them. We get some kills. And same thing. As soon as I have an opportunity, I'm taking the enemy's camps. And Samira, as Samira has been doing, just ends right into us, and we're able to end. So you need to consider all of your decisions. If you can make good macro decisions, your games are much easier. It makes your micro decisions much easier, and it makes it so that you don't have to be super mechanically gifted to be able to win games. If you watch, I make micro mistakes quite often, but my macro is generally on point, and that's what helps me win games. Hopefully I see you on the Rift. GG.